for the provisional member and user from Port Police Department. Ramir Cruz, representing her Bashabalakmak, provisional member and user from ICTE. Likewise, we have Ms. Josephine Atiere as regular member. We have in attendance likewise the members of the technical working group, the head and members of the back secretariat. On the part of the prospective leaders, we have representatives for the firearms, for the procurement of firearms for Port Police. We have representatives from Trust Trade, Squares Bingham International Incorporated, Nash Enterprises, R.S. Binelli Trading, Facilities Protection Incorporated, Alpha Sigma Defense Industrial Incorporated. For the lease and care of canine narcotics detection dogs, we have Sniper, K9 Security Solutions Incorporated, DSL K9 Services, Zemo K9, Manalo Animal Products and Services. For the procurement of multi-site remote surveillance equipment and ancillary services, we have representatives from Beyond Site Philippines Incorporated, Kempal Construction and Supply Corporation, Synergy Industrial Solutions, PLDT Incorporated, and One Commerce.
Concerning the foregoing, the chair declares that there is no quorum related to PGCS number 014-2018, Councilor. Madam Secretary, what we are scheduled?
We have one item under our agenda, Mr. Chair, and that is the private conference for the following projects. Letter A, the procurement of firearms for Port Police. Letter B, lease and care of K9 narcotics detection dogs. And letter C, procurement of multi-site remote surveillance equipment and ancillary services.
Okay, if there are no objections, let's proceed to the sole item tonight.
Mr. Chair, this is not an opposition, but more of a manifestation that we are now in the private conference, but still there are some certificates that need to be issued.
Okay, with the care of that matter, I will require the following to submit the required certificates as in compliance with your order during the pre-run. Okay. Madam Secretary, the first visit matter.
For the procurement of firearms for Port Police. The project was posted in the PPA and Billions websites on December 21, 2018. The approved budget for the contract is 20 million pesos. 20 million pesos. We have prospective bidders from Trust Trade, Squares Bingham International, Nash Enterprises, R.S. Binelli Trading, Facilities Protection, and Alpha Sigma Defense Industrial Incorporated. So the floor is now open for your queries, clarifications, questions regarding the bid document. Any from Trust Trade Incorporated?
Good afternoon. May I?
Can kindly identify yourself.
Good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies. I'm Joy Gutierrez from Trust Trade. Now may I ask a series of questions, Mr. Chairman? May I?
Proceed.
Thank you. On page 66 of the bidding documents on technical specifications, it says PPA logo shall be blank on each side of the pistol, on the side of each pistol. May I ask what the blank is?
Apologies, it should be embedded on the pistol.
So, Mr. Chair, the word should be embedded. And then, sir, ma'am, on the safety, it says safety, external safety, ambidextrous, manual, trigger, grip, internal safety, Farrington thumb, or similar. Is it one or all?
For both sets.
Ma'am,
Sorry, but for
is it, or do you require all of these, or do you require just one of one of what is indicated. Any one of what is indicated.
Just give me a minute to check the deal. Applies to all.
Mr. Chairman, ma'am, if I may
I'm sorry,
make
I thought the
a
chairman is critical or as a
Mr.
chairman.
Chairman, if I may make a request, that because apparently this is after the PNP specifications, if I may respectfully indicate so. In the PNP, it's just one. So if you will require all, like we don't comply, I don't think anyone will comply if you will require all. So if I can respectfully request, or if it's all, then if you can ask, well, because definitely we won't comply, and I don't think anybody will.
So that means that all these requirements may not be available in that particular time, only one or two.
Well, ma'am, if I may, because we've seen this specifications in the PNP bidding, which is approved by the NAPOCOM, and there clearly it's just one external and one internal safety minimum that's required. If you will require all of these, and if I look at it now, like our product will not comply. So just briefly thinking about all of the firearms in the PNP, I don't think anyone among us will comply. Of course, I can be mistaken.
We'll take it under consideration. We'll discuss this with the proponent later, and should the issuance of a between that necessary, issue the necessary correction. So whether or not it's both or one, we'll issue a between that's clarify that time.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may clarify, if it's one or both or all.
Okay.
Because right now there's one, two,
Yes,
three,
there's
four, five.
ambiguity regarding what should be included. So, Madam Secretary, let's take that, please note. Thank you.
Thank you,
Any other
Mr.
questions?
Chairman. Yes, if I may.
Please proceed.
Unless others have questions also. But if I may, I have
You finish
about
your question.
20.
Okay.
Alright. And then on the barrel length, it says 4 inches and it's specified only as 4. It doesn't say minimum or maximum. In the PNP, again, sorry to say this, but it looks like what is approved by the NAPOCOM. On the NAPOCOM resolution, there's a starting paragraph stating minimum requirements. So the 4 inches on the specifications of the PNP of the NAPOCOM is minimum. But this one has an exact barrel length of 4 inches. So I wanted to request if that can be a minimum and not an exact figure.
That is the minimum length.
So
Minimum.
Minimum. So will that be available?
Yes, yes.
And then, Mr. Chairman, on the shotgun, on the side, it says fiber optic front, rear adjustable, and then there's a notch with right to insert low profile. So I wanted to check if this is a real specification required by the Port Police, or if there's some sort of a typo, because it seems to have been picked up from the specifications of the pistol.
this a specific requirement for the police or with
No.
the actual gun?
No, ma'am, I'm clarifying if it's really a requirement on the shotgun, because it doesn't, a shotgun normally wouldn't have like a certain low profile. So if I can request for a clarification of this, on what the specifications really are.
We will clarify in the bid bulletin.
Thank you, ma'am. And then, Mr. Chairman, on page 67, because you have the specifications of the pistol and carabine and the shotgun in the middle. And then it says, after the quantity of 200 pieces, it says brochure of each type of firearm, certified true copy, certificate of distributorship, and so on. I wanted to clarify if that's a requirement only for the shotgun, or is it for both the pistol and the shotgun?
It is a requirement for both.
So from brochure of each firearm onwards, that's for both.
Yes. For the brochures, if it's possible, we require one brochure per unit because we're going to use that as manuals also for
For delivery.
yes.
So may I clarify, the brochure you're asking for here is not for bidding purposes to include in the bidding documents, but to put in each gun?
For bidding purposes, you may submit just one per copy of the set of bid documents that you will submit.
And then, on page 68, the bottom five rows, testing, design, license fee of 2 years, including ballistic examination, firearms with 1 to 2 years. Can I clarify what the testing will be, because there's no parameters at all on the testing? And then on design, what design means? And then the license fee of 2 years, right now it's no longer 2 years with RA 10591. It's already 4 years license fee. The LTOP of the PPA is 2 years. And then the firearms bond is not currently required, so I wanted to ask what bond this is. Thank you.
The design is at the back of this on page 69 and 70. 69 and 70.
So the design is just for the logo, you mean, ma'am?
Yes, for the logo. Testing, we will require at least 10 per unit to be used during post-qualification.
But if I may ask, what are the parameters for testing, because it's not clear?
We did not specify specific parameters because this is not the same procurement as the PNP. They have more aspects and parameters. We will just require the testing of each type of gun.
Yes, ma'am, but what kind of testing? Because it says we're supposed to pay for the ammunition. So how do we know how many rounds of ammunition you do and what kind of testing you'll conduct? Because a testing can be one shot and you've tested it, or it can be more. So if we can respectfully ask for, in fairness and openness, to have it here, because we also have to check on costings.
Yes, we will put that in the bidding documents, in the bid bulletin, but for your information as of now, we intend to require 10 sample firearms of each kind, and we will be using all in full, with full bullets in our
Yeah, what is full? Full is
17, full eight.
Chamber. I think it will be full loaded on the center. I think it will have 6. It says it is semi-automatic. Most of it are we will visit head-office. We can visit.
17. For the pistol, it's 17 per unit, 17 rounds per unit, and also for the shotgun, 7 rounds per unit. So you need at least 70 ammunition for each type.
So, sir, ma'am, are you saying that you will only shoot it for one full magazine capacity for pistol and shotgun for 10 samples each?
Yes,
That's the only testing you'll do, no, nothing else?
yes.
Will that be in a bid bulletin, or can I already take it as,
Yes, and we'll also incorporate that in the bid bulletin for clarification.
And then, Mr. Chairman, because when you open the bidding documents, it will already be the gunman. So to get, for us to bring, I guess we will require to bring the samples here, and that will be during the gunman, and we need to get a COMELEC exemption. COMELEC exemption is a minimum of 2 weeks working week, minimum. And they do not promise any, any timeline that they will be able to give the exemption. Just so you know, sir.
Thank you for that information. Madam Secretary, we might need to adjust. It will be after we discuss the course of action with the IC before we remove that requirement. But thank you for reminding us of that.
So the gunman is unveiled.
June 12.
require, for example, of the embedded logo on at least one unit. No, during the post qualification, um, instead of at, instead of it being at the PPA firing range, we will just go to the firing range of the prospective bidder. Is the problem only on the permit to transport?
Well, Mr. Chairman, first, if it's, because our warehouse is in Camp Crame. So if it would be there, we still have to check with Camp Crame if they would allow the movement of firearms from the FEO storage to the firing range in Camp Crame. And then second, to get permission for the use of the range there. Now, normally they would, but I'm not the PNP, so I will have to ask for them if technically, because that might be violating also COMELEC provisions. Because technically it's still movement, although it's just within the camp. So however, right now, I cannot answer you, ma'am, because I'm not the PNP. I will have to check with the officials. And then second, on your question on the sample of the logo, if you will ask for that, then we simply cannot do it because our items are coming from the US. And we simply cannot ask the US to make a sample now and then send it here. It will take an export permit, an import permit, and it's a lengthy process, so it's not just practicable, it's not doable for us.
Is it not doable for any bidder to send us a sample even if it's not on the exact gun?
I cannot answer, ma'am, but my items are coming from the US, so for me, it's not possible. I can send you a drawing, an engineer's drawing on computer, but that's all about that I can do. I cannot send an actual sample.
Subject to none of
But
that.
it will no longer form part of the requirement to be submitted by the leaders.
Um, the report, I suggest you still require it, even just a picture or a design.
Engineer drawings, you can send engineer drawings.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chairman, which would essentially look like,
Similar to the
What we
like,
which would
posted.
essentially look like this also.
So we require it to a proponent, winning bidder. Maybe show it to them.
Oh, yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, may I clarify, so that will be required, on the bidding bidder.
On the bidding or not during the opening of bid.
And not an actual sample, but just an engineer's drawing.
Yes, as to your question, let us just coordinate with the PNP today and before we issue the bid bulletin for clarification.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, did you say you will or we will?
We will.
Sir, may I continue? On the license fee of 2 years, can I clarify why 2? Like, because firearm registration is now 4 years and the Delta is 4 years. And then the firearms bond of 2 years, because right now it's not required by the juridical section of the PNP FEO. So I wanted to ask what firearms bond is. Thank you.
Previous procurement, we got the requirement from our previous procurement as PPA.
But if it's a change in
If there's, yes.
period, can you clarify and if it's necessary, we should be bidding? Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we'll wait for a bid bulletin on those. Mr. Chairman, since I mentioned already about the COMELEC gun ban, on the delivery period of 90 days, can we already request for an extension?
We will,
And if I may respectfully indicate, that will be a two-way COMELEC exemption. One, when we bring in the firearms, and then two, when we deliver the firearms from the PNP to PPA. So one application is a minimum of 2 working weeks within the COMELEC, and that excludes the endorsement from the FEO, which will take a few days also.
we will check what exemption we can get and take it into consideration on the extension that we will be issuing also in the bid bulletin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And then on the item that was distributed today, just this morning, can I just double check because it's our first time to join again a bidding here in 20 years. For the hardbound, so you want us to hardbound to bind the, 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 envelope 1 separately from envelope 2. And then we'll submit each one separately also as indicated here. 2 separate sealed envelopes. Tama po.
2 separate sealed envelopes, one for the technical proposals and one for the financial proposals. The technical proposals contains 7 copies, 1 original and 6 duplicate copies.
Nakabound po each one, ma'am.
Yes, bound like this. This is hardbound, this is bookbound, but with corresponding index tags as separators. And then each one should be individually sealed in an envelope. And then another sealing for the outer envelope.
For all envelope 1 only.
Yes, for envelope 1 and another for envelope 2. Because you have two, you have the technical and the financial.
So for the financial documents, ma'am, we will also bind it.
Yes, the same for the technical.
And then do we put envelopes 1 and 2 still in one bigger envelope?
Or you have to submit it in 2 separate envelopes.
And then, thank you, ma'am. And then, Mr. Chairman, ma'am, can I just ask for item 4 and what was given today? Bidder shall, because it says about the bid documents, the form must be complete without any alteration to their format and no substitute form it will be accepted. Can I ask if we can retype these or do we use these
No,
and then type on them?
You can retype, but you cannot change the format. You cannot add nor you can delete anything from the set.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ilan yung sa nagsikipay nila? Can you go over the...
Or do we have any queries or clarifications from Squires Bingham International Incorporated? Yes. Any?
Good morning po. My name is Karina Pinaro from Squires Bingham International Inc. Additional lang po na clarification. Yung 10 units po ba sa testing na gagamitin will form part of the delivery?
It's only to be used for the post qualification. We will require 100 units for delivery.
Kasi hindi po siya kasama.
So you can use your old stocks if available. You can use that for us to test.
And then last one na lang po, dun sa repair and replacement, repair farm must be done within 30 days from receipt thereof. Any unserviceable unit shall be replaced by the supplier with a new unit within 10 days from written notice with the PDA. Pag naka-license mo po kasi parang hindi na madali na i-replace. So,
We understand, but kahit hindi madali, you have to.
kailangan na i-replace.
Because that's the warranty. 30 days,
30 days.
we can extend.
Okay.
How, sorry, if I may ask, I will also compare this with other agency bidders. How long would it take for you to reach the damage done?
Wala pa po kasing experience as to yung replacement ng buo. Pero kung kukunin mo sa abroad, parang yung process is the same pag nagpapadala dito.
We will note the extension that we will name the bid bulletin, but it needs to be replaced if it is damaged.
Sige, ma'am. Isa pang clarification po, after ng functional testing, wala na pong other testing for the delivery.
Yeah, wala na.
Sige na po. Thank you.
Yeah, the Madam Secretary.
From Nash Enterprises. None, no questions. R.S. Pinelli Trading. Okay. Facilities Protection Incorporated. Alpha Sigma Defense Industrial Incorporated. No questions.
Please remind them to
Please be reminded that your query should be submitted 7 days before the deadline for the submission of bids. Our deadline for the submission of bids is on January 25 at 1 p.m. So 10 days, yes, before that period. If you have any queries, to be submitted. So the opening of bids is at 2 p.m. January 25, 2019.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Let's proceed to the next bidding conference. The lease and care of K9 Narcotic Detection Law.
The said project was posted in the PhilJets and PPA websites on December 21, 2018 with an approved budget for the contract of 36 million. The contract duration is 1 year. So we have prospective bidders from
Those bidders for attended for the firearms, they did you.
We have prospective bidders from, is this K-Firm or is it K9 K9 Security Solutions Incorporated, K-Firm, DSL K9 Services, Zemo K9, Manalo Animal Products and Services.
Good morning, ma'am. Maricar Tasha, Transmitter Science Solutions Incorporated, some grant stations ng calls. For the similar contract, will this include the sale of and release narcotic detection dogs or purely lease of narcotic detection dogs?
I think the sale, anything with providing agencies with narcotic detection dogs.
Including sale. Another one, will this be exclusive for narcotics detection dog or will it include explosive detection dogs?
For this, it will only include narcotic detection.
Clarification, on the BDS, it states here that we are required to submit proof of experience in clean narcotics operation for at least 1 year, but on the technical specifications, it states there proof of experience in clean narcotics operation for at least 3 years. So which is which?
This one pertains to the qualification of the handler, not the company as a provider of canine narcotic detection dogs.
On the technical specifications, po.
Yes, the COR.
The 3 years experience for the 1 year, that's for the
3 years for the company, 1 year for the handler.
on the certificates of course completion, will this refer to the handler as well?
Course completion, yes, the handler. We will clarify that in the bidding documents to avoid confusion among the bidders.
On the medical records with narcotics detection dog, within 2 years from date of bidding, are you requiring that the NDTs will be 2 years old and above, or could we deploy younger NDTs?
Younger NEDs is long, 1 year, at least 1 year.
At least 1 year. That's all. Thank you.
CSL A9 Services.
Good morning. This one concern regarding the transportation of the K-90. It says in your technical specs that you need one transportation for each.
It won't be for us. It will be for the bidder or the winning bidder to transport the dogs wherever we require them to be. So we are not requiring one per handler. As long as they are transported properly and safely to our sites, that is okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm from Search and Secure K9. I have a question, which is the delivery upon to proceed. It says here 90, but the one close in parentheses is 90. Page 65. In the delivery period.
It is 90 days.
90 days.
It's just a typo error, sorry.
So meaning to say, ma'am, upon receipt of notice to proceed,
Within 90 days.
within 90 days, you need to deliver or earlier.
Earlier is within 90 days. Just do not go beyond 90 days.
Yes.
Earlier is okay.
And then another question is, we also provide for the dog cage.
For the dog cage, yes. Because our PMOs will only provide for the shelter.
Yeah. So you allow the
I understand that some do not need to be in a cage. So if they need to be, then that will be included.
Will
Because
you
that
allow
is
the
part of the
dogs?
safety procedures.
Yeah. Will you allow the dogs to be stationed in particular area?
We will be providing a station per port for the canine and the handler.
So definitely you need to bring the cage as well. That's all.
Good morning po. I'm from Zimo K9 Training Center. My name is Rachel Gomez po. I would like to clarify lang po sa testing parameter. Nakalagay po dito auto recognition using at least 10 lanes with 10 boxes. each lane, so 100 items po. One hidden narcotic training aid will be done under speed and endurance pressure test. Bali, ang concern po dito is kung dahil normal po sa PIDEA, sa customs, sa NAIA, and other requiring agencies, hindi lang po one training aid ang pinetest, meron tayong shabu, marijuana, ecstasy, cocaine. So isang testing aid, isang training aid lang po yun, isa lang qualification ng ASO para mag-test. Dahil isa lang training aid lang kalagay dito. Then, normally apat. And then, ang may authority lang kung magdala ng training aid, ang dadalo isang PIDEA para so, paano po kaya natin makakanda ng test at sino ang mag-test?
We will be coordinating with PIDEA as to the bringing of the training aid, as to the narcotics training aid. However, it will be our team who will put the, whatever kind it is up to us. So your dog should be able to determine, because you wouldn't know if it's marijuana, shabu, cocaine. Your dog should be able to determine all four. Because when they're trained, they're not just trained for a single substance, correct? So whatever we'll put there, it should be able to be alerted.
Okay, dito po sa testing nito nakalagay, 5 times pwedeng i-test ang isang aso. Kung nag-fail siya, pwede nang ulitin ng 5 beses. Allowed naman. Sa letter C po ng testing parameter, each team may be given chances to do the test for at least 5 times.
We will conduct the testing 5 times, and the threshold is only up to 3 false indications.
Opo, yung false indication meaning pag umupo siya sa hindi positive na 3 beses, okay pa siya. Pag umupo ng 4, failed siya. Pero yung 5 beses siyang nagkamali na hindi nakuha yun, 5 times siyang i-test, allowed siya. Yun po yata ang kalagay dito.
No. 5 times siya ite-test. Only 3 false indications. The dog is out na.
Yes po, ang sinabi sa testing post ng K9, halimbawa, inirahan mo yung aso para maghanap, tapos niya, yun isang testing. And then, kung hindi niya nakuha, ite-testan mo siya ng pangalawang beses. So, another 5 runs po ang gagawin niya. Normally po kasi kahit sa agency testing, isang beses lang yung testing. Dito, 5 inaalaw niyo.
No, we previously had this project, hindi lang sa pareho, but it's definitely not just one testing. That is our requirement.
Opo, hindi ko lang makuha kasi yung logic ng 5 beses na i-test yung aso. Pag hindi niya nakuha, pwede na naman siya i-test. Pag hindi niya nakuha, pwede na naman ng 5 beses yun. I was responsible in the creation of Philippine Coast Canine Unit way back 2000. And ang test parameters na binigay ko sa kanila is
Yes, until we look for a consultant, that is our requirement.
Okay.
So we will not be following whatever you're saying now, because this is our requirement, and you work previously with some other agency doing their requirement.
Okay, hindi ko lang makita yung logic na. Thank you.
Manalo Animal Products and Services. No questions? No more questions? Please be reminded that the deadline for submission of bids for the listen care of K9 narcotics detection dog is on January 25 at 1 p.m. Well, the opening of bids is at 2:30, January 25, 2023. 2:30.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
So we will issue a
Okay, that's a good time. Those bidders for the lease and care of payment are qualified QR queues. We will proceeding to the last bid last procurement of motion equipment at the hospital.
The project was posted in the PPA and QTX websites on December 21, 2018, with an approved budget for the contract of 425 million. The duration is 6 months. We have prospective bidders from Beyond Site Philippines Incorporated, any questions? Yes.
Good morning, everyone. One of our questions always regards to primary transportation of the goods, primarily to the head office first. No? Kasama po ba sa financials ang insurance and logistics going to the ports also?
You're asking if it's in the financial bid form, there is a table for transportation and insurance, so we can add that there. That's page 74 of the bidding document.
So kasama po siya.
Sorry, that's from within, from goods supplied abroad, page 73.
Then with regards to yung what we're currently experiencing with Huawei cameras, are we open po to including China-made cameras or especially Huawei cameras at this point? Kasi meron nung cybersecurity issue ngayon with Huawei globally.
We do not intend to get products from China so this moment.
So yung next question ko is in terms of timing, delivery and installation of the said goods, we must complete all of this within 180 days.
for completion of the activation of all ports within 180 days or 6 months. It does not need to be simultaneous. It can be one PMO at a time as long as it's completed within the required period.
Then, with regards to the quality manual po, pati yung operations manual, kailangan na po ba to sa bidding process or can it be created after awarding? Or is it, or is it part of the bid requirements?
It is part of the bid requirements that you submit a copy of such manual.
Tapos, for site locations, can you get the exact address or coordinates of the said 15 ports?
We will provide to the winning bidder due to security reasons. We do not intend to publish the exact site of the CCTV cameras.
In terms of formatting naman po, especially sa technical specifications of hardware compliance, where do we put that we are in compliant with the specifications? Kasi in the current format po, wala siyang column for compliance na complied or not complied po.
Actually, most bidders, they do their own statement of compliance, tabulating the specifications. For uniformity, we will issue the format with the tables and the statement of compliance to be included in your submissions.
Thank you po. Then, my last question is primarily for final acceptance. So when will final acceptance be given the duration of the project? Will it be 5 years? Or after the service ends or delivery?
We will issue a certificate of acceptance because for purposes of payment, every payment process, they COA circulars require inspection and acceptance report. After every completion of every activation, we will issue such acceptance. And after for the service component, every month we will also issue the said acceptance. Normally, other bidders would request for certificate of completion due to the fact that they intend to join other bidding projects. What we do is we issue such certification prorated to whatever they have executed and finished with the PPA.
That's all from my end. Thank you.
Construction or supply
A pleasant good morning to everybody. My first query is about the single largest contract. Should be within the 5 years prior to the deadline of submission. Considering the amount of the ABC, I think I need to raise the issue if you can submit aggregate contract. Aggregate contract. Because the ABC is 426 million in a span of 5 years.
At least equivalent to 50%.
Yeah, 50%, which is 220
not the PPA's requirement, actually, that's the requirement of GPE. It's included in RA 9184, that it should be a single, largest completed contract.
Maybe we
And we,
can submit a request in this way. We can submit a request in this way. No.
that is
It's already
provided, yes.
Yeah, and about the coverage of the about the coverage of the contract, which is 5 years, maybe request for a 10-year period. Single largest contract.
Oh, the RA 9184, it should be within 5 years.
Now, for the definition of similar contract,
It is in the GPP resolutions that it is required 5 years. That's why for track record purposes, we always require 5 years.
okay. And regarding the definition of similar contract, it states here, supply, delivery of surveillance equipment and ancillary services. Let's say, for example, the completed contract only covers surveillance equipment. Would that be enough? Because it says and ancillary service, it should be combination of both.
Yes, because it says and.
But we cannot present a contract for surveillance equipment.
That will not suffice.
It will not suffice. It should be within the category defined.
Yes. It is defined actually. It is defined in the bidding document.
With regard to the manpower selection, who will take charge in the selection process, the recruitment process, the BPA or the supply, the winning?
We require that you have an existing organization related to our project. So for your personnel, it presupposes that you are the ones who have chosen them.
Now, they will be assigned to 16 stations.
I'm sorry, did you read our project features?
No, I mean, this manpower, it should be centralized. But I mean, it should be coming from us, but it should be,
there are actually no
assigned to
personnel.
different stations. No, some of the scope of work requires personnel.
No, we do not require personnel for the PPA. There's actually no personnel on the sites. It should be in your command center manned with your own people.
But PPA will do the selection or us?
You.
I see. And then we will present to you all the professional personnel to be landed to man the stations. Special conditions.
May request that you turn on your microphone so your voice will be. There's a button on the
Which part of the new document?
Special conditions.
Page number 2.
Page 58, and the succeeding page does not indicate any page.
It says remotely monitor. So they will be in your command center within Metro Manila, also a requirement.
Okay, because it says here, the service provider, it should be the service provider here. It be banned by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 365 days a year, under any weather condition. from a secure and conducive monitoring station in the National Capital Region. I'm sorry, I'm not a technical. So I was wondering if ever this will be deployed in 16 stations. The service provider will the manning of each station. The one who will operate each station is
The service provider will operate remotely.
all remotely.
Yes.
Remotely.
Remotely means
the maintenance and the operation, the maintenance of each station for 5 years.
You mean the maintenance of the 16
Yes.
sites? The maintenance that you're talking about pertains to the maintenance of the hardware. That is your product, so you will be the one taking it.
I heard that you do not prefer a product from China.
Yes.
So what would be what is the justification? I mean, I'm not questioning your
The
requirements,
justification,
but,
we have had reports about the security issues pertaining to as what had been discussed earlier. That is
it
our
will
justification.
only address a particular brand. What about the rest? If they meet the standards, let's say international standards for surveillance equipment.
Actually, our specifications are generic. Yes,
Because I just heard that you don't prefer China products.
Yes.
That's why. Regarding the delivery, I doubt that if this 160 days and 180 days will be compliant. So we like to raise that if we can extend the delivery, the schedule requirements for the delivery.
We do actually, with the permission of the committee, we can add additional days for the completion. However, for the willing bidders, usually if they comply substantially to our requirement after 60 days, what they do is they just request the general manager for extension.
By the way, if we will be submitting a query and we haven't purchased yet the bid documents, will the BPA reply to our query?
You have only 10 days prior to the deadline for the submission of bids, which is on 28th, January 28th. So, 10 days before this opening, you have to submit your bid and queries.
I've noticed in the downloaded bidocs, there is no attachment of the legal forms, like the omnibus statement, or would it be this the standard? Only the big forms, but the rest is.
Page 99 is the omnibus form statement for corporation.
What page, ma'am?
99.
It's complete. It's at the back of the bid document.
We got it downloaded. It's totally
Purposely
blank.
put that so there will be no deviation from our form.
Can you check if it's with all the documents?
What she did is just downloaded it and you will send her own.
Download it. Hindi pa kasi sir bumibili. But it's here, it's included in the bid documents that we received.
Original bid document.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The omnibus, the bid securing declaration, and the other forms.
Ma'am, is it the normal legal forms like the other bid? Yes,
This is
bid forms.
the required
Yes,
form by the GDP.
The GPP. Thank you very much, ma'am.
From Synergy Industrial Solutions. No questions. PLDT Incorporated.
Good morning. Clarification lang po, doon po sa bid documents kasi, the understanding is that your requirement are, especially for the analytics side of the surveillance system, those are edge-based technology, meaning yung analytics po resides on the camera or the device itself. Limited po ba siya doon sa requirement na yun? O pwede po ba mag-propose ang bidder ng server-based na analytics? Face recognition, intrusion detection, behavioral analytics. For as long as hindi siya lalabas ng ATC.
We actually have facial recognition cameras. Analytics kasi, we don't have complete database from other agencies, so we are working on that. For this project, specific to this project now,
So
we cannot entertain proposals at this point to enhance.
I mean, for, yun po, yung doon sa face recognition, ang intention niyo po is magpabid ng cameras with face recognition na doon sa device.
Yes.
So you will not entertain server-based analytics, facial recognition on the server side. Thank you.
Any other questions? Wala na po. Please be reminded that the deadline for the submission of bids for the procurement of multi-site remote surveillance equipment and auxiliary services is at 9 a.m. on January 28, 2019. The opening of bids is at 10 a.m. on January 28, 2019.
Ang ganon?
Yung bibili natin mo ng pizza rin. Yung may mga data pizza natin. Mati sa dito galing iba agency.
Ay, ikaw yung